Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name.
You tell me, say me kind of that everything's gonna be okay. You are the father to the fatherless, the miracle walking God. You make the blind man to see. You made the crippled man to walk. You are the lily of Galilee. You make impossible possible.
Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. I woke up strong on a Monday. I go to gym on a Tuesday. Then to the studio on Wednesday. I walk it out till Thursday morning. I be chilling on a Friday. I play some shows on Saturday. If you ask me what my best day is, it's when I praise you on Sunday morning. I got my throat in my mind. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name.
Hello and good evening, wherever you're viewing us tonight. We want to say welcome to Family Connection International, or the forum Keeping in Touch, a forum where we share life-changing experience and stay connected. And as always, we are here every Friday and every Sunday with a guest to discuss their life-changing experiences. And Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time and 10 p.m. GMT. And as always, I have with me Levi and Ben. Levi, how are you doing, man? I know New York City is reopening gradually. What is happening? Big Apple.
Well, I'm doing pretty well, Brother Faxa. It is a great feeling to see going back to the new Namaste. And we are hoping and believing God that sooner than later, we will get back on track and start to operate the way we used to. You know, this is the Big Apple, and this is the city that never sleeps. So though we're in coma, but we are gathering all necessary resources to ensure that we get back. And when we get back, we're going to get back stronger. Thank you very much.
It's very setting. New York tough, New York strong. As the governor always say, coming back gradually. Hey, Ben, what's going on? Either he's in Arizona or maybe in California. Where are you?
I'm currently in California. You get that right. In California, it's reopening slowly. and making sure that everything is intact. And interestingly, in fact, even if you want to buy something from the store, you make sure, just to tell you, you must have your mask with you, you know. So I have this that I have to put on every time you have to enter the snow or the store. You need this. If you don't have a mask on you, they will not allow you to enter a store in California. So we are gradually reopening things, and hopefully things will come back to normalcy as soon as possible.
Certainly, certainly. I think it's a new normal. And like every day you going somewhere, you gotta have a mask on your nose or maybe on your mouth. It's all about keeping us safe. And to our viewers tonight, we just want to let you know that tonight we have a United States Army veteran and a youth leader, Brother Jesse and Bengu. Thank you for your service, Brother Jesse. And we want to say thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be here tonight with us. And tonight we just want to be looking at family and looking at your life journey and what you're doing in Liberia with the youth. On this platform, as we always say, we don't engage in politics. With all respect to politicians, but we want to look at family as those hardcore issues that are brought during the dinner table for family to discuss. And we want to keep connected. I know it's been a while for some other people who might be watching or they haven't seen Jesse in a while, but maybe we'll try to match the voice, the picture to the voice. You get to see him live, you get to share his life experiences. People who see him today don't know how he began. So today he will be sharing with us what his journey was like. So Jesse, we want to say welcome and tell us a little about yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fassad. First, I want to be grateful to God at least for giving me this opportunity to be able to actually, have this conversation with you and to all your listeners today. I think it's a great privilege. And I am very happy to be a part of this conversation right here in Liberia, like you guys are also doing. We are also, gradually opening up, even though the cases are still going up, but the country is opening up, and I see a lot of people observing the social distancing to some extent at our level. And by the grace of God, we're doing good. But I am very happy to be here tonight to actually talk with you and maybe share my life experiences with our listeners. Thank you, Mr. President.
Great. And as always, wherever you're watching us from, we just want you to drop us a comment on Facebook. We want to read your comment. You can also post your questions. If you have a question for Jesse tonight, we want to read your question out to you. We'll also have a number which we'll be announcing later if you want to call in and contribute. Levi, what's the number if our viewers would like to call in to contribute tonight? What is the number, Levi? Levi, we're not getting you. Mute right there. I don't know. Levi will be giving us a number later. Let us just get this ball rolling. Just to tell us a little. I know during this corona pandemic, you live in Liberia, and you got your family here in the U.S. You got your wife and children. How are you keeping connected during this corona pandemic?
It has been a tough time. This period, especially when families are together, we are somehow separated by distance. We talk on the daily basis. That's the only way we get to know about each other and know how we all doing. So I call daily. I talk to the kids. I talk to my wife, and then we try to know how each other is doing. So pretty much we are closely connected through communication, but we are not currently living together. That is a tough one. But by the grace of God, we get to talk to each other every day, so we're doing fine.
That's great. And I also know that you also a caregiver. You're taking care of your mom, and I know this corona is affecting the seniors. How has it been like taking care of your mother in Liberia? Has she been an elderly person? And this coronavirus predominantly has been affecting people of age and what have you.
Yeah, we understand the whole danger involved, especially with a senior. And my mom being here with us pretty much is an extra care that we really have to apply for everyone living here with us in the house. everyone coming in and going out, pretty much I monitor that very carefully to make sure where you go in, you're pretty much following all the health, guidelines that we have been provided by the Ministry of Health. The young men that live here with me, everyone know the rules. We just want to make sure you don't go out there and, mingle with other people and come back in, in our house. So everyone know the rules, and we just try to observe it. We have those hand washing stations at both entrance. We have the entrance, the main gate, and then also we have a small gate. So before you come in, it doesn't matter who you are, you pretty much have to wash your hands. And then if you come in a house, we only accept visitors that we pretty much know. And if we come, we also observe that social distancing, that no one just get closer. So just by, being together and observing those, health, guidelines, that's all keeping us, and by the grace of God, upon everything else.
That's great. We'll be coming back to Jesse to look at his journey. Jesse, I know for sure, I know you much better. We grew up together. Your journey from Liberia to Senegal to the US. How was that like? Because how can a Liberian leave Liberia not knowing where he going, end up into Senegal, a farmer from country, can't speak French, managed to navigate Senegal, end up to the US, and then went to the military. Why he went to the military? We want to take it through. Hey, Levi, can you tell us the numbers tonight for our viewers, or maybe if there's any comment or maybe anything from your end there?
Yeah, to our viewers out there on the Facebook or whatever medium you're using to follow us, if you want to participate, the number to call via WhatsApp is +2 81467 7465. Again, +2 81467 7465. That is the number. You can call us to be a part of this program, to ask your question, make a comment, or you can just text your comment or your question right beneath our live screen, and we will be able to read it and post your question also to our guest in studio.
Thank you so much. So Jesse, tell us a little. Tell us about your life. You left Liberia. I know we went to service one day, and by the way, Jesse is somebody I know. He was very committed to things of God. He was in the usher, and he did pretty well, organized the usher at that point in time. And he told me, he said, I'm leaving. I said, but where are you going, brother? He said, my friend and I are going to Senegal. And Jesse left Senegal. The next time I talked to Jesse, Jesse was in the US. Tell us, how was it like? What was the journey?
Well, thank you for asking, Mr. Fassad. And I know you must have, go back way, way, way back from childhood time, and all of our days here in Monrovia, we were classmates and coming here. In reality, it's, coming out of high school, 1995, when I graduated from high school, pretty much I had the desire and the drive to actually, be successful. And that being said, I wanted to go to college. But at the time, looking at my background, looking at my financial status, I couldn't go to college because there was no financial support. But I really, really wanted to succeed. So I thought it wise what to do. So I just woke up one time and said, probably I need to travel. And in reality, I didn't know, anybody overseas. I just decided, I said, maybe the best way for me to succeed is to leave this country and travel to another country. And out of that is in search of greener pasture. So I just got along with some other friends that I graduated from high school together. There were two of them. So we all got together and said, okay, let's go. So we negotiated. There was a ship at the Freeport. We negotiated to actually, they were only going to Guinea at this time. And we never had any money. It was $50 that I made my journey with. Am I still connected?
Yeah, you are. You are. Go ahead.
Thank you. So with the $50, We negotiated at the free ports. There was a ship going to Guinea-Conakry. I paid $30, to leave from Monrovia to Guinea-Conakry. And we made a trip. I was left with $20 in my pocket. And we took Guinea-Conakry, and we were asked to leave the ship, but we didn't know where we were going. We never knew anybody else. But luckily, we had some Nigerians that were also on the ship with us. So they told us the best way to do is we all go, instead of staying to Guinea-Conakry, at the capital in Conakry, let's go to the border, because the next target now was Senegal, because the whole intention was to go to at least Morocco. But we had no money. So the last $20 we had to use that to get to the border town closer to Senegal. So that was a big town called Labé. Labé is in Guinea. So we made our way there, and we spent about 2-3 days in Labé. So we managed around, we're able to make our way to Senegal. So we got to Senegal, and we started struggling now because there was no money to gain. Even getting to Senegal, we sold everything we had. So we're left with just the clothes on us. So we got to Guinea, to Senegal. So we started searching whether people could speak English. Senegal is a French-speaking country, and people speak Wolof also as their, national language. We didn't, speak any of those languages. But again, God made a way somehow. We found somebody to speak English. So they told us there was a refugee in our house, a place, a UN that was taking refugees. So we got there to say they were not taking any refugees. So we should go back to either Sierra Leone or Guinea. So we were stuck. So finally, we ended up to a graveyard where some people were sleeping. So that became our next resident for the next 3 months. We lived in the graveyard, and then we would get up in the morning, we will walk out, and then we go to, a restaurant.
Wait a minute. Did you say you live in a graveyard?
My brother, in the graveyard in Dakar, Senegal, Dakar.
Wow.
There was a graveyard that we used to sleep in about 3 months in that graveyard. So the only thing we do, we went there, we slept in that graveyard, we woke up in the morning, we will search for food. We get to a restaurant that we knew. One flagger had a restaurant that he used to cook. So we stick around, when people eat, the leftover, we'll collect the leftover, and that's what we fed on. So we stay on that for a while. God made a way. We were searching for a church, but it was very difficult to find a church. We didn't speak the language. The whole country is dominated with monks, and we were Christians. Finally, we found a church, and then we started going to church a little bit, and we found our way. And there was a Catholic organization called Caritas. So the Caritas were helping refugees. So they took us to Caritas, and Caritas said, okay, well, we can help you only once if you want to do something, but we can give you money. Whatever, if you have a project that you want to do, we can help you start that project. So I said, okay, yeah, I had a project, and my project, because what they were giving was very limited, small money. So I said, I want to fix cookies. So you can fix cookies? So yes, I can fix cookies. So they took me to the market, and then they bought what I needed to fix cookies, flour, sugar, coconuts and stuff like that. So I started fixing cookies, and I was living on cookies based on my determination. And with God's help, I was able to sell the cookies and live on the cookies. That became so independent. I have money, I can say, to live on just by selling cookies when I was in Senegal there. We started, African-American went there and started a church. It was intended for refugees. So we were part of that church until we were listed on the UN to be resettled to US. So this is how I journeyed from Liberia to Senegal and then to the United States. So it was in 1998, April, when I left Senegal for the US. So I was very, very grateful. I thought it was my, freedom, freedom to actually leave Africa from that journey and see myself in the US.
Thank you so much, Brother Jesse. I can't admit that some of the story you're narrating tonight, I never knew some of it at all. And this program, this is what it's intended. I know people see you today, you work, you hold with the youth and whatever, which we will come to later, and they don't know your beginning. How can a man who live in a graveyard? It's like what happening to the Zocos in Liberia today. If you go to Central Street, you see some of them in a graveyard. But do they have a focus, what they want to be? That's important. It is a very quite interesting story. So we'll come back to continue from the states where you joined the military, and we'll come back and talk about your youth program in Liberia. But I want to go over to Ben. Ben, what is your contribution from that end? I know you interject at some point in time.
I mean, my mind was just blown off to hear this brother say he lived in a graveyard in search of a greener pasture. Yeah, that just blew my mind. And it tells how determined he has been all along, that it didn't matter whether he lived in a graveyard for 3 months or so, whether he only had $20 with him or not. He said, you know, whatever the case may be, I am determined to move forward. And yes, indeed, he found his way to the Western world, that today he's a living example of what we call people that are determined to achieve their goals in life. So that is amazing, Brother Jesse. Thank you for that explanation. And that's what I injected when you were explaining, because I really wanted to capture that. I say, wait a minute, that happened. All right, having said that, I know you talk about the virus outbreak that is all over the world, which is a pandemic, the coronavirus, and how you guys are handling it there in Liberia. Looking at you having experienced life in the Western world after you moved from Africa, I wanted you to throw a little light on how are you being able to meet up with the challenge of, you know, handling the situation back there in Liberia, because it probably seems to be a little bit challenging for you, especially that you got used to the Western world for some time, and now you have to go back to Africa and live again in Africa. How has that been for you? Can you hear? Brother Jesse, are you there?
Brother, no. I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. So that is an interesting question. Very interesting question. Because I remember I went to the US back in 1998.
Brother Jesse, if you are hearing us, it appears that you are having an echo.
Until 2000. So I've been back and forth, you know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're much better.
Okay. I hope this connection will allow me. So like I was saying, I said it is an interesting question. I lived in the US one day back in 1998, and I returned back to Liberia 2010 with regular trips to the US because my family is still there. So coming, knowing very well, you know, the comfort of living in the US and comparing that to here, it has to be some type of desire to do something. And that is the passion that brought me here. I was in the US, I lived there all these years. In reality, I did not feel that I was making an impact. Maybe the only impact I was making was for myself and my immediate family. But I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to come back to a country where I came from, where people will need my help, where if I can even take $1 and give to someone, that would be a life-saving, you know, assistance that I provided them. I wanted to come back to this country and make my contribution to my other family members and other people. So from the time I've been here, there are a lot of young people that are something I met in the streets. Some of them are out of school. just for $50, they're out of school, they drop out of school. So providing that $50, some of them will graduate from high school and then maybe go to a vocational institution, or maybe some of them have gone to college. That is the desire. That is what actually keep me here. I feel that I'm making an impact in someone's life. You know, the US, living in the US, that impacted me, myself positively, and my family, immediate family. But how do I impact other people? I will not be able to do it in the US. There are so many people in the US that are doing bigger things. Liberia need people like us, you know, who would actually come in whatever little way that you can to make your contribution to make someone's life better. So that is what I'm here, Berketo.
Thank you very much for that insight. And again, as I said initially, you are one of those guys that can really, really show a sign of determination, because in the first place, you decided to come over to the Western world because you were determined to advance yourself. And after advancing yourself in life, as a matter of fact, being in the United States Army, you decided to go back to where you came from so that you can also make another impact there. So from the beginning, you look and you seem to be a goal-oriented person. So you have certain things that you have set in life and that you want to achieve. And line by line, you are going through the various achievements. So I would say bravo to you for taking that initiative, because I know for some of our brothers and sisters that come on this side, they don't even want to go back again to Africa or wherever they came from to help whoever that is there and that is in need. But people like you, yes, it is good to have you on a program of this kind. And that's one of the benefits of this program. Thank you so much for what you do. Brother Fasa?
Thank you so much, man. I think we're hearing a lot tonight from our brother Jesse sharing with us. And it's a great thing that we're able to put a spotlight on his life and let people get to know that the Jesse you see today didn't just grow up with a gold spoon in his mouth. I know he grew up in a very dusty Foya district place where we had to play football at Pakio Quarter and other places. That's a man from down there just like you. This is a yes or no question. Do you still bake cookies?
Yes, I do, but just to eat now, not to sell anymore.
Okay, that's a good one. Pretty good. Before I go over to Leva, tell us, why did you join the U.S. Army when you came to the U.S.?
Good question, Brother Foster. After being in the US for some time, I went through my undergraduate. I graduated with a bachelor degree, double major in political science, international studies, and resolution. So I look at myself and look at the United States and said to myself, how can I give back to this country that have given me so much? See where I came from nowhere. I got in this country, I have a job, I have a family, I have education. Now I am able to take care of my family. How can I give back to this country? And the only way I think possible at the time to give back was to serve. So I decided, I want to join the military. Remember, I joined the military, I was already at age 35. I had my first master's, and I say I have to join. So I decided, I went and met a recruiter, and we had a conversation. And the time that I joined the military, that's when we had the Iraq war. I mean, there was a lot of casualties in Iraq, daily basis. The US troops were being killed. But then at that time, I told my wife, I said, I need to go into the military. My wife was very scared, considering what was happening with US soldiers in Iraq. She didn't want me to go. I met a pastor, the local pastor, the church that I used to attend. I told the pastor I needed to go. He asked me why. And I told him exactly. I said, I just want to give back to this country that have given me so much. He said, Jesse, I don't think it's the right time to go, but if you feel so much that you want to go, let me pray for you. So he prayed with me, and I got in the military. So I was able to complete the tier training, the basic training, went to individual, training, and then I was deployed to serve first in South Korea, and then back to the U.S. in Virginia, where I ended, my time in service. So I joined mainly because I wanted to give back to the country that had given me so much. And more well, it provided me some of those things I never had, that is tuition, college loan repayment. That was something that the military helped me to do, all the benefit that came along. And also, because of the military that I serve, because I'm a veteran, there's so many other opportunities that I have today, just for the fact that I served in the U.S. military. And most of the jobs, but maybe even the jobs that I apply for some I have that advantage, at least a 10-point advantage when it comes to fair recruitment. So it's a win-win situation. Thank you, Brother Fasa.
We want to say thank you for your service to the United States. Giving your service, it's not about pay, but it's about serving the United States government. We appreciate your service to the U.S. My concern has to do with those who serve in the military. We see most of our friends, most of our brothers come back from the military based on things that they have seen. I don't know what happened. And when you are deployed into Iraq or other places, they come back, there's this issue of mental breakdown. Can you tell us a little what's happened? Those who go to military to come back, you find out they got some mental problems. I got my brother-in-law who I can say today that since he left the military, there have been some problem with him. What's the issues?
Some of those guys that actually go into the military, a lot of them have a lot of personal experiences, especially those that are deployed, in the war zone area. Those that want to Iraq, those that want to Afghanistan, some of them have personal experiences on the battlefront that pretty much affect their thought processes. So a lot of them, they come back home with that stress, that post-traumatic stress. It is on them, it affects their daily life. Whatever they do, it feels like they are still on the battlefront. I think for me, I am grateful to God. I was only deployed once, but that was not even in the war zone. I was deployed to South Korea, so I didn't actually fight, in a war. We were just there serving in the military in South Korea. After the 1 year, I came back to the US. But for those that went face to face, the experiences they had, some of them saw their close friends being shot and killed. Some of them were forced to take life. Some of them did many things that, they never thought they want to do. And if you're doing it at the time, you have no option because that's your job. That's what you have to do. But then eventually, if you sit back, you come back home, it starts to play with you. It gets back to you. So that is why you see a lot of them, they have the post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of them will get into drugs. They start doing drugs. That's why you see a lot of, homeless veterans in the streets because they come back home and then, that's where the military used to take care of them. The military would guide you in everything you do. But then if they come back home now, pretty much on your own, you make your own decisions. So sometimes some of them are not too good about making those decisions by themselves anymore. So they slip into drugs and then eventually they become homeless. So that's what happened in some cases.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jesse. There's a lot we are learning from you tonight. If you are viewing us on our page tonight, you have your comment, drop us your comment. This is Family Connection International with the program Keeping in Touch, a forum where we share life-changing experience and stay connected. Lever.
Well. Tonight is another beautiful night. I mean, it's not easy listening to some of these stories, but coming down from your experience in Senegal, there were so many things that caught my attention, and one of those things, Brother Keto put forth was the idea of sleeping in graveyard. Uh, In addition to that, you find yourself selling cookies. You said in Senegal, in the country that speak French, and you are selling to French-speaking people, majority. How did you fit in? Because you became successful. You're selling cookies to, you don't even know the currency. You don't know anything about the country. You don't know how to speak the first French. How did you become successful? How was it like? Brother Jesse.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother. It took some time, and I must admit I had some help. There were some other Liberians that were actually selling cookies already in Senegal. So they're the one that provided the guidance. And anywhere you go, as you get in the society, you pretty much got to learn very quickly. That is trying to understand the language. It may not be for you to speak fluently, but just for you to get by, just to ask someone, what is your name? Ask someone, how to say how much, those basic, words in different language. So I had help from some of those librarians that are already selling cookies. So when I started doing my cookies, they guided me, in the whole process from the very big first day that I went out to sell until I had my own station that I was selling myself. Because when I started the first time, I fixed the cookies, I would tie it in little plastic bags and then walk around in the community. You already knew what the money was because they have the San Fran and the Senkan. That's the thing that don't never forget. Those are like 50 cents a dollar in France CFA. So you tie it, there's a bag that calls Senkan, there's another bag that calls San Fran. So you hold the two in your hand and just walk around, Benye Coco, Senkan, San Fran, Benye Coco, Senkan, San Fran, and then you take it. Somebody will say, give me one. They will just want to bring the money, whether it's a Senkan or Senkan, you know which one to give them. So you get back. But eventually, I found the station where I was able to sit. So a school, a half school. So I fixed a little bags and then we'll fix the cookies and station one place. Recess period, students would just come. They wanted it, they love it. So they would come. I can tell you, my brother, I was renting a room later on when I got on my own. A room was costing 15,000 francs CFA. That was about 30 US dollars a month. If I sold my cookies at daytime, I could get that money. Just one day I would sell that, a cookie and get my money that day. So that's what I said when I was in Senegal. Before I left from there, I already had some money because I was doing that business on a daily basis and I was making profit and I have money. But it's just about putting yourself in the situation and being able to learn very quickly and move very fast.
Wow. That was interesting. For those of our viewers that are monitoring us, like you heard earlier on, this is Family Connection International. We are live on the platform Keep It in Touch, the program where we bring people that have succeeded, that went through difficult times. Many of us are in life, we are at, some of us in Africa, in the US, wherever we are, and we feel that when we go through difficult time, we cannot restaurate. We cannot rise up to the occasion. We cannot leave from that place for which we were to meet up with our goal. We got Brother Jesse here with us in studio. He's telling a lot that he went through. Brother Jesse, finally from my end, I know sometimes you sit with your family and you try to narrate these stories. You never had a wife at the time, and I don't know as to whether you had your kids around at the time, but I feel within myself that it was a one-man struggle. When you sit to tell these stories to your kids, how do they embrace it? Brother Jesse, are you there?
Okay, now I'm getting your thing, the network went down a little bit. Yeah, pretty much if you can hear me. Yes. It was a long man struggle when I started. And I made a family when I went to the States. And I shared those experiences with my wife. and also my kids. My wife also happened to be someone that came from East Africa, Rwanda. She too had her own experiences. You know, like we had civil war, they too had their own civil war, and she lost, you know, a lot of family members during that genocide, both parents, both brothers, and we share, and that alone helped us to, you know, bring our kids, even though they are born right there in America. But relating those stories, where we came from, I think will help them to really understand, you know, their direction, where they need to go. America is a free country. A lot of them, you know, do what they want to do. But in this case, we sit with them all the time and explain to them our back together and where we are. And then we'll also try to instill in them that discipline. You know, not just because you have all of those things at your, you know, disposal today. So that means you become proud and then you don't respect people. I said that is not the way to go. So we'll sit with them time to time, and by the grace of God, our kids are doing well.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Faisal.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much, Levi. This is Family Connection on the platform Keeping in Touch. That's what I always said. I think we got like maybe 20 minutes to go. At this time, I just like to ask Jesse to tell us about the work you're doing in Liberia. I know you're working with a youth. You want to tell us what are you basically doing in Liberia?
Well, in Liberia, the thing when I got here back in 2010, I was recruited by an organization in Washington, D.C., John Snow Incorporated. They brought me as Liberia Fellow. Liberia Fellow was a program that the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, had asked when she went to Washington, D.C., that she needed Liberian in the diaspora to come back and contribute to the rebuilding process. So as I was getting out of the military, I saw an advertisement on eMansion for a Liberia Fellow. So I applied, and fortunately I was selected. So when I got to Liberia, I was assigned to the Ministry of Youth and Sport as special, you know, technical advisor to the minister. So Liberia Fellow for 2 years when the program ended. But then the ministry still needed me, myself still wanted to be here to make more contribution. And the ministry had another program that focused on youth development. It was sponsored by the World Bank. So the Youth Employment Skills Project. So the minister at the time, so that is how I began the Youth Empowerment Program in Liberia. The focus mainly is to empower our young people in Liberia, to empower them in any way that we can for them to be job ready, but also to find employment. I ran a couple of programs under the ministry. The first program I was talking about, the Youth Employment Skills Program. That program ended in 2012. And we provided temporary employment to young people. That was those work for cash program, wherein we recruit young people. Some of them will do roadside brushing, and they get paid just to sustain themselves. In the city of Monrovia, there were some young people that we have with skills building. Some of them were provided some training for them so that they will be able to, you know, have the desired skills for the job market. That program ended, and then we got into another program. The one I currently run is the biggest youth program in Liberia. It's under the Ministry of Youth and Sport, but this also is sponsored by the World Bank. The Liberian government took loan from the World Bank in the tune of $10 million, and they want to empower young people. So we have a target of 15,000 youth. You can already notice that that's a drop in the bucket when it comes to the Liberian youth. 15,000 is a very small number, but with the resources available, we have to be, you know, we have to target ourselves. But we are across the country. In all 15 counties, we are all there helping these young people. But what we do specifically here in Montserrat, out of the 15,000 youth that we have a total target of, 2,000 of them are those youth that are still underage, between 15 to 17. And what we do with them is make them job ready, job readiness skills, because there are a lot of librarian youth that, when they reach job, age, sometimes they go and find a job, but they don't know how to maintain that job. They don't have the skill set to maintain the job. Some will go to a working area, whether it's in the supermarket or where, they will begin to argue something about their favorite football team, and then they jump into a fight. So we prepare them, conflict management and other skills, health and hygiene for that component. There is another component right here also in Montserrat, 3,000 retired young people. Those, we put them in group and we start them with small business. What we're trying to do is to empower the private sector, because we realize that the government alone cannot be the employer of everybody. The private sector has to be strengthened in order to cater to the population. So little by little, we get these young people in groups. We help them with business skills. That training is provided them, and then also some grants for them to start their own businesses. And we have the biggest group, 10,000. Out of the 15,000, that is outside Monrovia, that is in the rural part. We realize that there are a lot of young people out there that is supposed to receive when it comes to youth empowerment, because on the farm, they do their farm work, and then that's how they live. So for that group, this project said, well, we're going to also target them, we want to empower them. So we go to every county, we go to a district and then also a community. We'll select a group of young people, put them in a group of 28, and empower them to do farming work, because that's what they do for a living. So we go to a particular group, a community, a big town, we select 28 young people, we tell them you have to farm on 35 acres of land. We'll provide you with the tools that you need to farm on, we'll provide you with the planting materials, but on top of that, we'll also give you some cash, we call it labor subsidy, up to $300 for each person. So that, what that is doing is providing full security in those communities. Every community you go to, these young people are farming, some of them, the 28 of them, some of them are farming over 40 acres, some of them 50 acres, planting varieties of crops, have rice, they have other vegetables, different kinds of food crops they are planting in those communities. And each of those communities is providing full security for those areas. So that is what we do. In short, that is what we do under this project. We call it the Youth Opportunities Project. It's a
Great, Jesse. You guys do a lot of things in Liberia trying to empower the youth. That's a great initiative. Can we say that you work with the Liberian government as a consultant for the World Bank program, or are you a direct employee of the Liberian government?
I am a consultant.
Okay.
Consultant working for the Liberian government, but a consultant.
All right. Thank you so much. We got 14 minutes to go. Let me see, wrap around, Ben, anything from your end?
Thank you so much, Brother Jesse, for giving us your time to discuss all that we are discussing here with you today. We appreciate that. And as you are focused in Liberia, working with the youth in Liberia, we know that the youth or the young people are the future leader of a nation or in a country for that matter, and you are helping to equip them to get them ready for the leadership role that some of them will be taking over tomorrow in the future. Again, knowing very well the context in terms of Liberia, how Liberia went through a civil war, and a lot of young people, they didn't have the opportunity to advance themselves in life, to achieve certain goals that they wanted to achieve. And now it's almost like for some of them, they are doing a catch-up, and people like you are there to help them build up resumes or build up the type of character that is required of them to assume leadership position in the future. What would you say, working in that capacity, what would you say to some youth that feel so downhearted and feel that there is no way to life for them at all? The fact that they are still in Africa, they can't find their way through to advance. What sort of encouragement will you be able to give them using this public forum?
That's a very important question. We all watch news, and then we see some, stories coming out. A lot of young people, not only from Liberia, but most of the sub-Saharan Africa, trying to, go to developed countries just in search of greener pasture. A lot of them lost their life along the way. Have, some of those education that we provide to our young people. We try to let them know that yes, you must actually, put yourself, stick out there. You don't always sit there and say, all gonna happen for me. You have to put yourself out there, but also consider the risks involved in that. If you want to think that you want to travel, maybe you want to get to another country, it's not always that easy. There are few that succeed, but there are a lot of people that also maybe lost their life along the way. So here, we tell our young people, even in Liberia here, you can make your life. It depends on how you make your life. It depends on your focus. If you focus, and maybe if you never had a chance to go to school to that level, you can learn a trade. Learn you a trade, develop you some set of skills that in some cases you will become your own employer. You will even become, an employer for other people. If you learn a trade and then open maybe a carpentry shop, or maybe open, be a mason, you have people working under you. For those young people that are into small petty trading, we also encourage them. Don't just sit there and say, okay, the government, everybody look up to the government job. The government cannot give everybody a job. We have to create a job ourselves. So what we do with those small businesses, if young people, if you that we are empowering with this little thing, if you can focus and then maybe improve your business, you can become, even more powerful than those that are in government right now. Those that are in government will let them know, some of them, they have time frame, especially for those appointed position, they work at the will and pleasure of the president. If you focus on your business, you become successful, you are the boss, you are your employer, you live a successful life. So that's the message that we give to our young people here. Just don't always think that maybe life here is not worth living. It's worth living, but you have to focus and get the right thing done.
Thank you so much. And just to inform our audience, if people of that kind that are currently in your area of jurisdiction, and Liberia for that matter, if they want to get connected to a program of that kind, how can they be able to reach out to get the right information or the right resources to develop themselves in that area? Is there any way that you can maybe give that announcement, so to speak, and let people know how they can get connected to you in terms of that?
Yes, the program that we're currently running, we have two implementing partners, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, as well as the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment, LACE. So for all of those that may have interest in this program, they can either go to the Ministry of Youth and Sport and ask for the YOP, Youth Opportunities Project, or come to LACE and also ask for the YOP. And we also have a short call. That's a toll-free number that any of them can call to get information, and that is 3344. 3344, that's a number that we have, in the community. Anybody can call that number, and then you would talk to somebody from the YOP. If you need any connection, if you have interest in the program, just dial 3344 or get the Ministry of Youth and Sport or LACE.
Thank you so much. And for those of you that are listening to us in the radio land, you have gotten the information from our brother Jesse Bengu, who is on the line tonight with us, speaking from Liberia, directly from Liberia in West Africa. Brother Jesse Bengu, we appreciate your presence tonight, and we appreciate you taking your time to share your life-changing experiences with us. We look forward to interact with you in the future again. Back to you there, my brother.
I want to say thank you so much. And we want to let our viewers know that we'll be back here on Sunday, just letting you know, with an author, advocate, and a life educator to discuss his life-changing experience. He's also a refugee and also an educational experiences. He will be sharing his life as a refugee and his educational experiences. Join us Sunday again with another guest. But until then, we still have some 30 minutes or 12 minutes to go. If you have any comment, Levi, can you tell us if there's any comment at our end or anybody on a call that would like to take any question?
Not now. Most of our people are just liking and following the program. So we look forward to any call, any questions, any comment you want to post. Just call our numbers. The numbers are there. Again, the numbers are +281 467 474 and 65. Again, +281 467 7465. That's the number to call to be a part of this program. To be a part of this program.
Brother Jesse, I know this is a World Bank sponsored project. It should have a term limit. How long is this project? And to that, are you willing to come back to stay in the U.S.?
Good question, Mr. Pasa. The program is for 5 years. We started late in 2016, so we have a closing date of June 2021 when the project phase out. But as I speak, we are also now working with the government to see whether we can have another program that will focus on youth. Because like I said from the beginning, right now you only have a target of 15,000. The youth in Liberia, the number is huge. So that's just a drop in the bucket. So we are working towards that to see whether we can get another program. With respect to coming to the US and live there, yes, maybe sometime, or maybe until my work is finished. I feel the work is still plenty here, and it requires a lot of people to really be here and actually contribute, or else better library we're looking for, we may not get it. We all have to contribute in whatever youth that, people can sacrifices right now, like in the youth at some point when my work here is finished.
I know. Thank you. I know. Thanks for your contribution tonight and what you're doing for our youth in Liberia. I'd like to go back to Levi, maybe for a question and his parting comment.
Well, again, it has been a pleasure being on this platform and listening to our brother Jesse. Wonderful story. Those are all life touching story. Brother Jesse, you spoke of your program, Youth Opportunity Project. That is a bigger platform that assists a lot of young people to be business oriented or to be able to develop themselves and their skills. But according to recent statistics in Liberia, you have 65% of our Liberian population or Liberia's population being youth, 65%. I want to know how far this program, how many percent of this number you think this program can affect, and are there qualifications set up for people that can be a part of this program? And lastly, are you guys thinking about creating a kind of a website that people could just go on and apply instead of calling some of these numbers? Because we have heard some complaints that these numbers are being announced and you call these numbers, they're going to ring forever and nobody's going to pick up. In fact, people are putting their own people in for this kind of a program. What do you say to that? Brother Jesse, are you there? What's your take on that?
I guess we're having some problem with connection with Brother Jesse. I know it's the internet back in Africa. Okay, I think Jesse, yeah, Jesse is right. Go ahead. I guess you got the question. Do you
know what it meant?
Okay, so Levi is concerned that you are announcing numbers here and people call this number sometime and nobody answer, or maybe if somebody answer, they don't give them the right response. Do you have a website where people could just go directly and maybe sign up or maybe apply? I hope, Levi, I'm getting your question right.
Yes, Jesse, go ahead. We're listening.
Yes, yes, we do have a website. Uh, yeah, we do have a website. I just need to maybe give you that. I don't have it up here, but I think it's WP Liberia.
Okay, brother Jesse, you could just text the website address and we're going to read it.
WOPLiberia.com, but I will just.
Yeah, just text it, brother Paulo Faxa will read it out. To that question, to that question, I'm saying that the youthful generation of our country is about 65%, according to statistics. Are there qualifications? Because you got too many youth, I don't know what's the length, how many people you think this program will affect within the 5-year period, and what are those criteria one needs to meet before being a part of this program?
I apologize for the bad connection here in Liberia, but yes, there are qualification, and for each of the component, they have different qualification. The youth, you have to be a youth, and we define youth in Liberia, anyone between the ages of 15 to 35. But then the first component, you must be between the ages of 15 to 17. That's the job readiness skills component. And then the last two components, you have to be between the ages of 18 to 35. And wherever recruiting, you have to be living in that community to be selected. You must, not make certain amount of money, because this is for the vulnerable youth. If your father is working with the government, or maybe your mother is, making a lot of money, you will not be qualified. So this is for the vulnerable youth. And in fact, the communities we recruit from, those are the slum communities, wherein most of those young people are already qualified. But yes, we do have some, criteria.
Thank you. Back to you, Solo.
Thank you so much. And a comment from you, Ben, your parting comment or question as we try to wrap up?
Well, as we are wrapping up now, I would just say thanks to our guest for the day, Mr. Jesse Bengu, speaking from Liberia in West Africa. We appreciate also the time that you have to serve in the U.S. Army to help give us the freedom that we all wish to have every day and night. So we appreciate all your contribution in both directions. Want to take that? Back to you guys.
Jesse, is there anything you would like to say that we didn't ask you tonight? And we also want to say, as Ben Radley said, thank you for your service to the United States, the land of the free and home to the brave. That's why we like to do it. And maybe give us your parting comment.
Yes, so I just first want to say thank you to you guys for hosting me tonight. I think this, for me, it's a great privilege, and also it's a great opportunity for me to be able to share with our listeners, some of my life, story, and then what I do here. And I look forward to maybe joining you at some point, anytime. And I just want to also encourage you to keep it up. This is great. And I look forward to, seeing you guys at some point, maybe in person. Thank you so much.
I want to say thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be here tonight, Joseph. We have clocked the 1 hour mark already. We just want to let our viewers know that we'll be back here on Sunday with an author and advocate to share his life-changing experience. And he also an educator. He's a refugee. He lives as a refugee, and he will be here. Join us. You're going to learn a lot. He have written 3 separate books. Last week, we have somebody who's also an author, and we'll also be talking to him. On behalf of the entire crew, Levi in New York, and Ben Keto in Arizona. No, he's in California.
That's right.
And we here. Neil Strong, Neil's coming back and kicking. Everybody is getting back to the new normal, going out to shop with masks. Be safe, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, and use your masks. I want to say thank you so much for being a part of us tonight. And have a good night and good evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you, guys.